Christopher Bell wins at Homestead-Miami Speedway to punch his ticket to the championship four, but for much of the day, it looked like Kyle Larson would be the winner until that moment. We'll talk about it next on NASCAR America Motormouths. Hi, everyone. Marty Snyder, Nate Ryan, Jeff Burton joining you here today. So, Jeff, Kyle Larson looked amazing, as he always does at Homestead-Miami Speedway, until he ran into the end of pit wall. Help people understand, how in the world can that happen?
Well, guys, there are things in our sport that look really stupid, right? They look like, how in the world did that happen? And it's happened to some of the greatest drivers in the sport. It's happened to me. Not that I'm one of the greatest drivers, but it happens. And it happens because you're trying really hard. So Kyle Larson coming on pit road, he has been working his entire career to be very good on pit road because it matters. It matters to get on pit road quickly. And he just did not do a good job of understanding the speed of Blaney. And he got himself in there. And once you start trying to slow down at that rate, you no longer have control of steering. The car is essentially going straight. He had to, and what he did was he got the car to the right of Blaney to keep from running into him. And that's just instinct. It's not like you're thinking, oh, I don't want to wreck the 12. It's just, I need to avoid the immediate problem. He can't even see the outside wall at that point. And he just can't slow the car down in time and can't turn the car. And he ends up running into the pit wall. We've seen it before. Again, a lot of these things are very strange. They look very odd. They look silly. But the truth of the matter is because you're trying really, really hard to maximize every single possibility to have success. And when you do that, you're on the edge, and sometimes you cross over it.
Yeah, and when I look at this incident, Jeff, I feel like we're just seeing divergent approaches to it, right? I mean, we've got Kyle Larson, who's already locked in the championship four by virtue of his win at Vegas. And then you've got Ryan Blaney, who is trying to advance to the championship four and is mindful of the fact that, and he's made some mistakes before, one of them being speeding in the pits. So I think he's tiptoeing a little bit more than Kyle Larson, who's in the opposite end of the spectrum and trying to push the envelope, as you mentioned, as much as possible, because if he gets in and is able to get out of Blaney, then he's very much full race. And if he's leading as they get to the pits, he very well could win. So I think that you had these sort of diverges and they kind of collided literally and figuratively, and it ended up poorly for Kyle Larson.
So, Jeff, I'm going to go back to that word mistake because I know it was a mistake at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and I'm going to take that same word and apply it two other times in the playoffs. The Roval, Kyle Larson wrecks in practice, and his team stays up all night long until 3 a.m. getting the backup car ready. They have an okay race. They advance to the next round. Texas, earlier in that round, racing for the win with Bubba Wallace. He wrecks there too. These mistakes seem to keep coming up with Kyle Larson. Is there a concern if you're Cliff Daniels or you're the 5 team? Because speed is not an issue for that race team, but these mistakes, and it's not always the team, sometimes it's the driver as well. Is that a concern in these final 2 races of the year?
It's very hard to do it all. It's very hard to maximize everything and also not make mistakes. So the only way to fix that is to back him up. And does anyone want to back Kyle Larson up? I would say no. I think you keep him on. I think you make him aware of the mistakes and what he could have done differently, but you don't want to slow him down. The gift that you've been given with Kyle Larson is incredible speed. And you don't want to take that away. You keep letting him have that speed. You keep letting him push the limit. And then he naturally will find the edge. But I don't think you can coach that. I don't think you can teach that. I think that it has to happen. You have to make those mistakes. It just would be a mistake in my eyes with 2 races to go to Kyle Larson and say, I need you to do something different. Especially with everything on the line, and winning at Phoenix gets it done, right? There are times in the race, if you get the lead, hey, man, back her down. We're good. Run 90%. We're fine. 90%. I'll let you know if you need to run 100, right? But getting on pit road, that's what they've been telling him to do. I mean, I promise you, they sit down with him and they're like, look, you're getting beat on pit road here. You're getting beaten here. You're getting beaten here. We're good here. So he's just trying to maximize it. He just misjudged it. Blaney was a little slow, but he was slow by maybe 3 miles an hour, not 20. You know what I mean? Blaney was a little slow. When he got to the line, he was right at 45 miles an hour. He probably needed to be at 50, right? Maximizing everything. He needed to be at 50. So what? He's maxed 5 mile an hour off. That's not enough to cause this. You know, it was just, he just misjudged it. We've all done it. We've all made mistakes, and that's what happened here. But again, it's for the right reason, and that's trying to get it all.
Nate, would you still have Kyle Larson as a championship favorite?
I mean, it's tough to pick a guy who's led over 1,000 laps and seemingly has been in the mix of almost every playoff race. So I still think that, you know, this is the ethos of Kyle Larson. He's always going to race at 110%. Sometimes it doesn't work out for him. We saw he almost took himself out of the playoffs in the round of 12, but then he rebounded and won the opener in Las Vegas in this round. So I still think, even with the mistakes that he is, you know, have become characteristic of him, sometimes even this late in his career, I still think that he's too much of a talent to count out at Phoenix.
You agree, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. Michael Schumacher made a lot of mistakes. He won a lot of world championships, too. I mean, Dale Earnhardt wasn't perfect either. He made a lot of mistakes, too, right? You know, Jimmy Johnson spun a lot of race cars out. He wrecked a lot of race cars. I'm not worried about that.
Thanks for watching NASCAR America Motormouths, presented by Toyota.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.